Right, welcome to Rhythm and Roads. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have a very special guest. We have Ingrid Perez Lopez. She's a writer director for a film, Mañana, which is premiering at the Femme Frontera Film Festival this year at the El Paso, Texas, June 7th and 8th. So, welcome, Ingrid.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy to be here to share with you and also to meeting you for the very first time. So
Right.
thank you.
Well, thank you. Yes, we are very happy to have you on Rhythm and Roads and for the film festival as well. So,
Yes, that's amazing, and I feel very honored. Of course, I love that more people can watch the movie, and of course, in this very special film festival. So very
yes.
very happy.
Yes, I'm very happy as well for and congrats as your film is being shown there on this next weekend. Yeah, mañana.
Uh-huh. Yes. Thank you.
That's exciting news. Well,
Mhm.
Ingrid, before we start the interview, we do want to, I mean, actually, the story of Mañana. We always like to get to know you. So we want to get to know your story. So where you're from, and what started your journey as a filmmaker and also a writer. So if you'd like to go ahead and start with that.
Okay. Well, I'm from Colombia,
Okay.
from a city called Cali, and I did my bachelor in there in social communication. But inside of my program, we had this kind of cinema uh,
Okay.
classes, and I felt at that moment very connected with that part of the program
Nice.
because I was in love always with writing processes, and I always wanted to write and to create things from paper, especially. And then I was very seduced by the fact that I could translate everything that was written in paper into audiovisual language.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why I decided to take this path. I started working very early during my bachelor's time, and after that I kept going doing it. I work a lot as an assistant director and also as
Oh,
a
wow.
script supervisor. I have made some collaborations also as a screenwriter
Mm.
for TV series, in documentary or animation TV series in my country, and also from some other directors. Um, so yes, and now nowadays, of course, I mean, during that path of working and learning and collaboration with other people, I was also creating my own movies, in this case, short films. So
Okay.
I was, it's so difficult to to do a movie because of the budget that implies and
Oh,
all the logistics and everything. So during that time, until now, I was able to make four short films, all of them fiction films,
yeah. Okay.
and now currently I'm doing actually my master's degree. That's why I'm living now in Budapest in Hungary,
Wow.
and I'm developing now my feature as a director and as a screenwriter, and also I'm jumping more into this part of the field as a producer. I have been the producer of my own short films, but now I'm collaborating with another Colombian women director with her first feature film also, that is kind of mine now, because now I'm the producer and also the co-writer. So I am very close to her, and I would say that's also my movie. I love that much the project and her, and that's why I started with her as a co-writer, and now I'm involved in this production area. So this has been more or less my my path
No,
until
yeah,
now.
no, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, congrats on going getting your master's. That's incredible. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, yes, it's gonna be soon in July,
Oh, it
hopefully.
is. You're graduating in July.
Yes, yes, it would be a good new starting for me.
Yes, a new chapter, a new
A
journey.
new chapter,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
that's true.
awesome. Well, congrats on that. And I did want to ask, are you coming to the festival by any chance?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately, I cannot. Now I'm dealing with a lot of things from university
Oh, I see.
actually because
Okay.
of the finalization of the masters, and it's been a bit difficult now. But
I see.
yeah, I would love to
No, that's
in other circumstances. Yeah.
all right. Well, actually, but thank you for sharing your story and your journey in the beginning of where you're from and just where you're at now. I mean, that's awesome. And congrats again on your master's. That's a big accomplishment for coming this July. So very cool.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Well, let's get into your film, Mañana. So, what inspired you to write this story? What's the story about? And yeah, we can just go from there.
Mhm. Well, to be honest, I'm always, I think, watching myself through my movies. I have been in this search of my own persona, in search of my own identity as a woman, and lately as a filmmaker also. And basically, this a short film, as the other ones that I made before, it's inspiring very personal aspects of my life. This Mañana especially is focused on I think it's based on my memories from childhood when I think I realized for the very first time how the family structure was not as perfect as I believe.
Okay.
And how in this discovery, I could understand that the idols that I had in my head inside of my family, in this case, the father figure, was not so real, not so idyllic as I believe. So
Okay.
it's a kind of a story where you can face the disillusion
Mm.
from the father figure in the childhood. Yeah, and I mean, it can be a bit sad, but I think at the same time, it's a story of growth and hope also because if you see the movie, you can see kind of an open ending. It's a moment it's a kind of sad, tragic moment in this story inside of this family and what is happening with the main character.
Okay.
But that also, I think, it's talking. This story is talking about hope and about growth and how growth, unfortunately, is always linked to pain, to painful situations. Sometimes you are not aware of that for growing up, you need to go through some kind of discoveries that cause you pain.
Mm.
But also, in this case, I think for this main character, for this little girl, it's a story where she needs to try to find again a version of her father, and not any more idealistic image, but more human image of who the father is for her.
Mm.
So that's also something that is definitely linked with the growing up process and with yeah, with some kind of hope, uh, to rebuild, I think, bonds and rebuild connections inside of in her as a person and also in her own family.
Wow. So that's thank you for sharing that. So this is really the base of this film is connecting with certain people in her family, but also growing from certain pains of certain people that she needs to distant or detach from to be able to
Yes,
get to grow to be better. Yeah. More
yes,
independent. Yeah.
yes. It is like that, and I think, I mean, I know that to grow is not always the same process for everybody, but in this case, for me, it was something that helped me to understand better myself and my family, especially my family. I think I have I had met myself better
Okay.
uh, through my own family, through their own mistakes, and I can reflect on those, and I can reflect on mine, and I can see how we are not so very different from each other, even though at some point in life maybe I could be a bit critical about them or about myself, but at the end is to realize that we are all humans, and at some point we need to understand how I don't know, life works, and how also your own criteria works, and how forgiveness works. I don't know. It's a process that links many, many, many things as human beings.
And I agree. And I feel like we all go through our own experiences as well, where we have to forgive certain people, but it's also good to have boundaries as well, within family or friends, depending on the situation. You could always forgive them and then just have a certain boundary on for yourself to have peace and growth to be able to handle that. That's important. Yeah. And
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, and I actually I mean, there's times where we actually do have to have that, and there's times where it's been lately too. But I mean, it's good for your own peace of mind and it's on your own, protection
Yeah,
of just not getting hurt or anything. So very interesting.
yeah, that's true. That's true. You need to evaluate what is good for you and what is not. And yes, it's important to, I mean, in the middle of that, yes, you have to learn also what are you capable of doing regarding to relationships, because I think relationships are always a not ending learning process. You are learning your
Yeah.
whole life how to deal with uh, yourself, and with the people that surrounds you, and that means also boundaries, as you said, and boundaries inside of your own family. So that's really important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely all this process is easier when we are adults, but when you are just a little girl or a little boy, it can be get very dark
No,
for
I
you,
can
and
imagine.
it can be very disappointed for you, like not
Yeah.
not to see your family, or especially someone that you admire so much, in the same way that you were doing it before, or to understand that not everybody is perfect as you believe that is. It's very complicated to be a human,
I,
and it's very
yeah.
complicated to to understand your family, or understand your, especially these figures are very like, you have definitely something to learn from them.
Right.
I think in my spiritual viewing of life, I think you need to learn something very important from them. And yeah, I think for a little girl is difficult in this case, for in this story for Rocio it is. And yeah, I think it is, that is why I think the short film connects very good with people, because I think we all have been before in this position, from this attachment, or this pain of disillusion, or being in this situation when you realize that maybe you are wrong about what you believe or what you think of this image that you have from your own family, your mother or your father is
Well,
very intense. Yeah.
so well, thank you for sharing that. So the film Mañana, is it inspired by your experience? Your journey?
Yes, yes. It's as I said, all my films are inspired on me, on myself,
Okay.
and they have shown me a lot of my own fears and
Mm,
my own pains, wounds. And in this case, I always mention the hope in this short film, despite of uh, the well. like the sad part that contains, I'm always speaking about hope because for me to understand at some point the role of, for example, my father inside of my family was a very hard process.
Mm,
But that process took me to a point where I could see finally my father as a human being with mistakes and wounds as myself, and at that point I could change my perspective about him, but also I could again not, I mean, idolize him again, but to make it strong in my heart again as a person who taught me a lot. And it's not only, I mean, him. The movie is inspired in this relationship between a little girl and her father, but this also has happened with even with my mom. How I could understand her better as a woman, as a mother, as a child, as a the different roles that she has had during her whole life. So it has been the same for both. But I think in the case for the father, for me, was stronger, maybe because of this relationship between woman and man. I don't know, because it's maybe your father, as people said, or some other great, I don't know, philosophers or whatever said that you have this really a strong attachment from your father, or you are kind of feeling the first sensation of being in love with someone through this figure of your father. In my case, because I'm a woman, I feel it like that. I don't know
mm.
for
Yeah.
other people, but I felt it that way, and for me it was very strong uh, to realize that this very first love was not perfect, as I believe. And as I said, that's important for me to reach the point, I mean, in my life, in my personal life now, that now I can see him as a human being with wounds and with mistakes, but now more from this judgment, but from another stage. But that's another story, it's another journey.
Mhm.
But the yes, I mean, the film is based on this kind of sensations and this
Interesting.
really, really, really sad memories about that from so many years ago.
Wow, Ingrid. I mean, I wish I could go see this film because I'm really interested in seeing your story or inspired by you, but I'm not able to go to the film festival in person either.
Oh,
So, but I'm all
oh
like, oh,
no.
is there a way to see this film if it's
Yeah,
not?
I can send you a link,
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Yeah, because I've actually if this is where it's kind of going is I've noticed that sometimes if this is what you're trying to portray is certain women look at their significant other, but they kind of have they want that father figure a little bit, if that's what it is, and because of how their father was towards them, they want a significant other similar to not like their dad, but a father figure, kind
Mm.
of like what they were used to.
Yeah, yeah, it's I think it's very complicated. I think it depends on your own experiences and also what you need to learn in life, or
Mm.
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that not everybody, even if you are a man, not everybody has the same experiences with the parents, but definitely, yeah. I mean, if you are not aware of what are you, I mean, what is your past or maybe your condition, your
Yeah.
programming inside of your head or whatever you have carried on during your childhood or whatever, maybe you are trying to look for the same. Yes, and not only in your sentimental partners, but also in any kind of relationships. Even in work, or in your professional environment. friendships. You are kind of reflecting many things that maybe you are not aware of if you carry some big issues about your childhood. So that's why it's important, I would say, to try to know you better and try to know better your own story,
Mm,
because otherwise you are, I would say, like a going through life like a stupid live. I don't know. I mean, stupid because it's not your fault that you are not aware of. I mean, it depends of your situation in life, uh, but I would say yes. I was very stupid many times and for many years because I was not very aware of what I was carrying inside of me and what I needed to heal inside of myself, and I was not stupid on purpose, but I was blind, I was trying to, I was looking for very different things in my life, and also as a filmmaker, because I told you a moment ago that at some point in my past I was always trying to look at myself, try to find my own persona through my movies, but now I'm also questioning myself, my own persona as a filmmaker at this point, what is important to say, what is not important, what I can give with my movies to someone who is watching them, and that implies to have a more open conscious about everything you are and what you can contribute maybe uh, to this society or whatever. So mm when you go from those very blind or conditioning states towards others more open, more wise. I don't know. Maybe you can understand better yourself, and you can understand better what you should do uh, eh, from your own profession or from your own career for others or for helping or contributing. I don't know, your environment, your society, or whatever. So I think that's why it's important. I think the most important book to read is your own story. You need to understand yourself in order to understand your steps and understand what path are you taking, what path are you walking on, and it's yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
I don't know. It's what I
Oh yeah.
believe. Very personal thoughts.
No, I like the way you think. Yeah, it's I like it. It's very different. I like that you're very in depth of life of just what's our passion, what are we here for, what's the journey, how do we deal with other people? I wish we knew certain things that we know where we're at now. I wish we knew when we were young, right? When we were kids or teenagers, just learning the aspects of where we're at now in life. We're like, man, I wish I would have known that a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Uh,
That's true, but everything arrives on time.
yeah. And
Yes.
but yes, I totally agree. I feel like sometimes you do need, not sometimes, I feel like once at least in your life, ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I like doing this? Why do I do this?
Yeah,
And when you ask
that's true.
yourself that, I feel like it's not going to be a quick answer. I feel like you need to have some time to just sit down or just get busy doing something, but also think about the question you just asked yourself. And then after some time, the answer will come.
That's
The
true.
subconscious mind will bring you that answer. That's the one in depth of what your calling's for.
Yes, that's true.
So like for me, real quick, because you asked me about myself earlier.
Yes, yes, please. I would love to know more about you. Of course, your passion and your career, if you want to share it.
Oh, sure. Well, I'll share very briefly about it because we're on a little time frame, but thank you for wanting to get to know me a bit. But what I was gonna say is there was a time where I almost not right away gave up on rhythm and roads, but I kind of was like, maybe I should just think about stopping. And the reason why is because I feel like at the time, this was a year ago, that there was, there's so much competition of podcasts. Who's really watching mine? I don't have thousands and thousands of followers. So I'm like, well, then who's really paying attention to my stories, and so my ex at the time, she asked me, because I was talking to her about kind of like the way I was telling you right now about it. And I said, so she asked me, well, why do you do what you do? Or why do you do it?
Mhm.
About it. And I was like, yeah, why do I do this? Like, I'm asking strangers to come on and give me their time for 30 minutes that don't even know who I am, and they're sharing their story. It's like, I'm not Joe Rogan. I'm not someone big that's like, oh, I want to come on, and I mean, I'm
Mhm.
just, another podcaster. But, one thing that I have to say is after almost 2 years now, which will be this August, or actually, I'm sorry, September 1st, I have to say that every story that I've listened to, and I've already passed 100 episodes,
Wow.
it's done something for me in here, you know?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
every story is unique and it's not the same. And I'm like, and then so when I answered my question, not right away to her, I thought about it for a couple of days. I was like, I do it because that what it does to me could do it for that one person who watches it, who could do it for
Mhm.
that 10 people who viewed it, or 20 or 50 or 100, who knows. If it does something for me, it's going to do something for them. It could inspire
Yes.
them, it could help them. Maybe they're going through something and they came across this episode and they're like, wow, I needed that. And just recently, probably a couple, like about a month or two ago, I've actually had my guests start giving me feedback, and unexpectedly, I didn't ask for it or anything, but they were like, "Hey, by the way, before we, close on the episode or our discussion, I do want to say thank you for what you're doing because I've actually watched some of your episodes and it has inspired me. I love watching this person that you interviewed and it helped me." And when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's what I needed
Mhm.
to hear. When you don't look for
Mhm.
it, but it comes to you of feedback where you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that keeps you going, and you feel good. Like, thank you. I don't always look for that, of course. Like, hey, give me feedback. But when it does happen where you are getting applaud for work that you're not looking to get applaud, it means a lot. So, yeah, and
Yes.
that's the thing, and that's why I keep going because now I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
it makes me feel so blessed to have these guests share their story, their journey with me, and it's not always a pleasant one. It's not always a smooth journey. I mean, this is a real life,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Real life. So
That's wonderful. Please keep going. Don't stop.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Yeah,
You are
but
inspiring people. That's very important in life, in these times.
no, yeah, it's giving a platform to those that have a voice that want to be heard. They want to be heard, and so yeah.
Very
But
cool.
I don't want to. So I only mentioned that because what you were discussing was figuring yourself out. Remember, you were talking
Hmm.
about that, and that's why I brought this up. Is because it's like you have to,
Hmm.
ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I wasting time on this or this relationship or what? If there's no meaning behind it, if there's no passion behind it, no love or anything, like if you're not where
Hmm.
you're meant to be, life will let you know that in ways that
Yeah.
are giving you red flags, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna like, okay, maybe this is not meant for me because apparently this door's closing, this door's closing. It's getting me geared towards another direction. And then once you get to that point in your life where you are meant to be, then that's when the doors are opening, where you're gonna be like, that's where I needed
Yeah,
to go.
that's true. Hmm.
But I want to get to know you more. So what's your next project after Mañana?
Um, yeah, well, now, as I said, now I'm working in my first feature film,
Okay.
inside of my master's. It has been like a long process, all the writing process. But I think now, I have a good script. That's the most important part, at least for beginning. And I plan to start look for some other stages, like a more kind of funds for development, or maybe, advancing the different stages that we need to advance when we are like a giving birth a new project.
Mhm.
And on the other hand, I have as I said, my project as a producer with Adriana Cepeda, which is another Colombian women director.
Oh, okay.
And we are advancing much more in that one, and we are hoping we are looking for now actually for some co-producers, for some funds, international funds. So yeah, we are advancing in that project more, and we are like hoping to be shooting maybe next year, or maybe in two, but I hope it will be soon.
Wow.
And I believe that maybe my first feature is going to be as a producer.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm developing mine own as a director. Yes. But yes, this is a very, a huge field with a lot of competition as well,
Yeah.
with a lot of, I mean, it requires a lot of work, a lot of, I don't know, budget. So it's not so easy, but at least I know that I haven't like lost my faith, that I want to work in cinema
Yeah.
after these many years. It has been very interesting what you said about the feedback that you have received with your podcast. Actually, last month I was in another film festival with Mañana. It was very inspiring for me because we received in there one of the main awards,
Oh, nice.
and and it was amazing. I didn't expect that, because I'm always very like grateful for being inside of a film festival. Just the selection is a very huge thing, because I know how many, I mean, the amount of short films of movie that are always trying to make it for a film festival, and that you are selected when you are selected is a huge thing. You were
Yeah.
selected for a lot of projects. So for me, it's already like my award. But in there, to receive that award, and then to be able to listen to the kind of admiration words from people. And I mean, I was not trying to look for this kind of validation, but in some way, when this kind of things happen, um, happen to you, you feel like it gives you definitely energy, and gives you motivation to keep going in. And it was kind of magic, because I wasn't expecting that. I was totally like I was just enjoying the moment in there, and all the wonderful things that were happening there. And I realized that when you are more like in peace with yourself, like you feel more, yes, I don't know how to say, maybe grateful about the things that you have achieved. It doesn't matter if they are huge or small for the others, whatever, but when you are capable of seeing the value, the small things that you achieve, have behind or inside, is something that maybe can give you even more satisfactions. And for me, it was like that. I didn't expect it, and we received that, and now I feel like more inspired. And after that, I have been invited into more film festivals now here
Wow.
in Frontera. And for me, and this is very special film festivals, that we have been invited also into these like a children film festivals,
Oh,
or
wow. That's cool.
actually in some other human rights film festivals, now in these festivals with female focus. And those are very important for me, to understand that my short film and my ideas have a very have a voice, and like a focus, a specific focus that is very important, that represent
Yes.
some communities, some minorities, or that is very important. That fulfills me a lot. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now after doing Mañana, I feel that I can keep going. That I maybe need to keep saying more things that I'm feeling that I need to speak
Yes.
about it. So let's see what happens
Well,
in
we
the
look
future.
forward to your next project. Yeah. And yeah, keep
Mhm.
going, being that voice. Now that you've had that experience receiving that award unexpectedly, you feel like this is your calling. You need to continue the journey.
Yes, it was like that, to be
Yeah.
honest. I was feeling like, oh, maybe I should change. I should change profession or something. I don't know what to do. This kind of sometimes crisis that you have. But then this happened, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I
Wow.
guess I need to keep going." It was kind of I don't know, a sign or something from universe, like, okay, no, don't give up, keep going, keep going.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so, well, before we close on this episode, how can the viewers find you on social media? And if they like to see the film, like let's say if they can go to the film festival, what's another way they could see the film?
Oh, well, currently it's not available because
Okay.
like for free online, because it's still going to film festival. It's
Yeah, right.
the film agency. I have a contract with the film agency, so I cannot like post it or something like that. But maybe in a near future, I can release it for free in online. But I mean, if there are some like listeners that are very interested in the short film, maybe I can send a private link if they reach me through my Instagram. My Instagram is Perez Lopez Ingrid,
Okay.
my name. And yes, maybe if you DM me, I can send you something. Yeah, we can meet us first and try to find a way. Mhm.
Well, well, thank you, Ingrid, for sharing that, and we look forward to seeing your film. I do. I mean, even if I can't see it at the film fest, I know that I could have a private VIP screening of it as
Yeah, yeah, sure.
with the
Thank you
link.
so much.
Uh, but
Thank you
when
so much.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, yes.
Go, go.
And I do want to say, like, with those watching, like Ingrid was saying, that it's okay to ask yourself why you do what you do. It's okay to ask yourself, should I find something else? So, like she wanted to move. Thankfully she didn't stop doing film, but it's okay to ask yourself that. Hey, am I meant to continue to do this? Because we've go through the whole routine in life of just doing what we do, but then sometimes we need that refresher of why do we do what
Mhm.
we do? Why are we doing this day in, day out? And once you know that answer when it comes to you, then you're gonna have that refresh, refire passion of that's why I do it. And then it's a whole different experience once you know that and when you need that. And I believe life will bring that to you. I'm a faith believer in God as well, and I believe that we all have a certain road of a chapter. But sometimes we also need to ask ourselves that, why am I here? What's the purpose? What's the passion? What is it that's gonna wake me up every morning to get up and saying, there I go, onto my what I love doing.
Exactly. What is the direction? I was asking myself about that. What is the direction now? I think I reach a point where I'm kind of stuck. I thought,
Mm.
at some point, and it's very funny because you maybe when you have these kind of sensations, maybe you are not seeing through the other things that are happening because you are a bit clouded, maybe. But yes, I was asking myself what should be the direction. Maybe this is not the right direction at this point, but now I feel that it is. So I will keep going in that way.
And we hope you
Thank
do.
you.
Well, thank you
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ingrid, and congrats on your film Mañana being shown at the Femme Frontera Film Festival in El Paso, June 7th and 8th. That's awesome. Congrats on that. And also, guys, if you like to, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe to the YouTube channel of Rhythm and Roads, and also follow Rhythm and Roads podcast, which is Rhythm and Roads official. You can follow all the exclusive interviews, all my future interviews, and if you'd like to share your story on Rhythm and Roads, feel free to send me a message on the Instagram account or through email, rhythmandroadspodcast@gmail.com. But Ingrid, it's such a blessing to have you on and share your journey. And yes, if you need time also to, or no, actually, I always like to say this part too. If you need help and need to go counseling or therapy or something just because of some what you went through maybe in childhood or as a teenager, it's okay to seek the help. It's okay. There's no shame in that. I've been through counseling as well, through certain situations like divorce in my family and stuff like that, and it does help. So, and that
Yeah,
helps
yeah,
you heal. It helps you let go of certain things from your past, so that way life can bring you so much more because you are letting go and letting life just be.
yes. I agree. I have been also in this kind of processes, and
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for doing that. It's very. I think everybody should do that.
Yeah, I think everyone should at
Yes.
least once in their life just go talk to a
Yeah.
stranger and about your experience because it's different from
Yeah.
talking to family, friends. But when you're actually sitting with a professional that went to school for this and they know the mindset and the way that a person is and how they go through certain situations, it's different. There's no shame in
Mhm.
it. And after when you
No,
leave,
not at all.
yeah, when you
You
leave, you're
should
like,
feel actually very proud of that. You
yeah,
should be like, oh, you are doing your job.
that's right. You're taking care of you, mentally,
Exactly. Yes.
emotionally, spiritually.
Exactly. That's wonderful. Everybody should do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you so
so much,
much,
Ingrid. Such
Joshua.
a
It
pleasure.
has been an amazing interview, an
Oh,
amazing
thank
time with
you.
you.
Thank you, Ingrid. All right, guys,
I
we'll catch.
wish you all the best.
Oh, I wish you the best. Thank you.